All right, Catherine, well, for everybody out there that's listening who, thinks NASCAR being green,
Right.
let's talk about it. What is NASCAR green? And, tell us all about the program.
Yeah, so this program has been in existence, gosh, it turns 9 this fall. We are almost at 10 years, which again has just flown by. But in the very beginning, we knew that we needed to hone in on major areas of impact. So we, have a road show. We, have this massive amount of individuals, and we are a small city, quite frankly, that moves around from race to race to race. You have on average over 100,000 people watching a NASCAR race any given weekend. You have folks that get there on a Wednesday and they stay until the race is over and they head out on Monday.
Right.
So you have folks in campers, you have folks in the infield, you have folks outside of the racetrack, you have folks in the stands. So, we knew that we needed to hone in on areas where we would have the most impact. So the first 3 areas of environmental impact that we honed in on were waste, air, and energy. Just taking waste, think about all of the waste that's produced at any sporting event, quite frankly.
Right.
What can we do to make sure we're diverting as much of that as possible from landfill?
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to make sure that we're donating food that isn't eaten back into our local communities? Can we compost? So we started with a recycling program, and Coca-Cola Recycling out of Atlanta, Georgia, right in your backyard. They supported us tremendously, we held hands on this, working with each of the tracks on setting up recycling programs. So
and Catherine, how many racetracks does NASCAR have around the country?
Oh my gosh, we run 38 races throughout the year.
Okay.
So, we've got multiple racetracks ranging from the West Coast in Sonoma to Fontana to coming back to North Carolina and Charlotte, going down to Daytona in Florida. It's, roughly over 15 racetracks, and they're owned by different stakeholders, but we had to look at all of the racetracks and say, how can we work with those racetrack owners and those operators on implementing this recycling program, because NASCAR only owns technically one racetrack, which is Iowa Speedway outside of Des Moines.
Right.
So we worked with stakeholders, International Speedway Corporation, who owns 12 of our racetracks that we run race cars on, for example, Speedway Motorsports, and then there are independent racetracks as well.
Let's talk about. I want you to let us know how NASCAR Green engages fans, right, to get involved and be part of the solution of environmental responsibility. And then I want to go to the biofuel that the drivers use in order to lower their carbon reduction.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we always, from a marketing standpoint, we got to walk the walk, right? So when you go to a NASCAR racetrack, when you go to a race, you're going to see recycling bins everywhere. You're camping in the campgrounds when you pull in the track, which again, I got to reiterate that none of this program wouldn't be possible without these operational components. I mean, the tracks, they are the ones that are implementing the recycling program now, for example. So when you pull into a campground, you get a flyer that talks to you about how you can recycle in the campground. Use your blue bag versus your white bag,
Right. Which means, like you said, the owners get it.
Yes, they get it. And, there's also, it's a business for them as well, right?
Yeah.
So there are always operational cost savings with waste diversion specifically, but also with LED upgrades. You've got Martinsville Speedway, for example, which just is, I think they've already reinstalled or they've announced plans to install LEDs so that cars can run under LED lights. I mean, that's huge, right?
Yes, it is.
So we've got a website, which is NASCAR.com/green. Green, which is where fans can go and they can engage. They can learn about what we're doing. We have a Twitter handle, which is at NASCAR Green.
Yep.
We have a television commercial that we run every single race weekend. It educates fans on what's being done and, more importantly, what they can do themselves to be able to make a difference, right?
Very cool. Very cool. Tell us about the biofuel that the drivers use.
Yes, the biofuel. So over 10 million miles thus far. We have run on a biofuel. It's a 15% ethanol biofuel that is called Sunoco Green E15.
Okay.
You can learn more about Sunoco Green E15 by following them on Twitter at American Ethanol. It is a biofuel that was implemented and that it reduces greenhouse gas emissions per renewable fuel standards by 20%. That's huge for us. We run it in our top 3 national series. So our Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, our NASCAR Xfinity Series, and our NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Wow.
It is run in all 3 of those series. And, drivers have seen an increase in horsepower with this fuel. I mean, it has been dubbed, or it was called by, drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr. as a seamless transition going from, regular fuel to a biofuel.
Uh-huh.
It's just been an amazing thing for us.
So even the drivers get it, huh?
The drivers get it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, Eric, this is the racing product, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about throwing bottles and cans into a bin. We're talking about changing what fuels, literally all 40 cars on that track in that Monster Energy NASCAR Cup.
That you do for NASCAR Green. Thank you, NASCAR Green, the partners, the owners of these tracks, the operations people. Thank you guys for everything you've done. I will see you in Sacramento at Green Sports Alliance with our friend Scott Jenkins, all those guys out there. And by the way, I need to throw some Atlanta. When people found out that you were coming on the show, you've got quite a following and a lot of friends down here in Atlanta. So shout out to Ashley Gravely and Adam Zaslow, all those folks. So thank you so much, Catherine, for being here on the Talk with Green Guy show. That's going to wrap it up, folks. This show was brought to you by the Ray C. Anderson Foundation. Remember to tune in every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here. Visit me at greenguymedia.com. Be the change you want to see in the world. Make today your best day. Think and live green. Talk to you next week, Greenheads. This is Eric Moncrief, the Green Guy. Have a blessed week.